It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely. President Joe Biden, he issued the executive controls to fight gun crime epidemic in USA.
Nice.
This is what was going on today. President Joe Biden put forward executive gun controls to fight what he called an epidemic, of gun crimes across the country. It's funny, he didn't use any stats on who is the crime and where it's being committed. But CNN quoted Biden saying gun violence in this country is an epidemic. He went so far as to even describe it as an international embarrassment. So the president put forward executive actions, which included initiatives in 4 areas, okay?
Okay.
Those were new restrictions on ghost guns. Do you guys know what a ghost gun is?
What is
it's a homemade gun.
Oh, okay. I was going with the Scooby-Doo. But
you mean the spectral guns, like to fight with spirits and
Ghostbuster guns.
Would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling lawyer.
Yeah. Don't cross the streams, right?
I think that was a microaggression.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah.
So a push for red flag laws. Okay, do you guys know what red flag laws?
Yes.
Offensive to colorblind people. I can
Okay.
tell you that.
Oh, very good, very good.
Microaggression.
Yeah.
Lawyer Wayne, that's
and you missed the other one,
that's
too.
one against you. And also this recategorization of the AR-15 pistols. WATERDOG Rich, do you know what a AR-15 pistol is?
I certainly do.
WATERDOG Rich, do you know what AR stands for?
I certainly do.
What does it stand for?
Armalite rifle.
But it doesn't stand for automatic rifle?
Or assault rifle.
Well,
it does not.
You should have went to Twitter to teach a lot of these kids today.
I know. It's Armalite rifle. 1961.
Don't worry, I thought it was known as assault rifle as well before.
Right.
Yeah.
Automatic assault rifle. No, it's Armalite. It's a company that
Company that designed the first.
So what is an AR-15 pistol?
So instead of a buttstock, it still has the buffer spring assembly that would be in the buttstock of a rifle.
Okay.
It's configured differently, so it can be operated one-handed without having to shoulder the weapon.
He said butt.
Well, one of the biggest characteristics of a pistol as opposed to a rifle is a pistol has a shorter than a 16-inch barrel also, and no vertical foregrip.
Okay, no vertical foregrip.
Yes.
Okay.
You can have an angled foregrip, but not a vertical foregrip.
Too easy. Where's your name, George?
But if it has a buttstock, it's considered an under-length. It's an under-length
short-barreled rifle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So
you have to have
a
non-adjustable buttstock.
Gun nerds.
You can have the
gun nerds.
You can have
over
like
there.
the braces or whatever, but nothing adjustable.
Then also the fourth area that was addressed was DOJ, Department of Justice, led research into gun trafficking.
Okay, now I'll agree with that. That sucks.
Well, here, as for the red flag laws, okay, Biden said, quote, "We know red flag laws can stop mass shooters before they can act out their violent plans." He then directed the Justice Department to publish model red flag legislation that states can adopt. He did not mention, though, that Colorado is a red flag law state. And what happened in Boulder a couple weeks ago? Mass shooting.
And then Aurora a few
right.
years ago, yeah.
All right. Red flag laws. What do we know about the red flag laws? Rich, do you know much about
Well, I will tell you this. Even in Colorado, you know what they call Boulder?
them? What do they call Boulder?
The People's Republic of Boulder.
Oh.
That's how left-leaning and liberal that town is.
Well, notice Colorado has 12 mass shootings in the last, 17 years, I believe it is.
Red flag laws make no sense whatsoever because someone needs to inform these people that, first of all, criminals do not obey laws. That's sort of the earmark of a criminal. And secondly, I mean, anything could potentially put you on the list to be red flagged, to not be able to, before you even fill out your Form 4 to get your background check, you can't. Even having a card to legally purchase weed from a dispensary can, in some cases, put you on that red flag list.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
So it's interesting for sure.
In regards to that AR pistol that we were talking about earlier, well, the nerds were drooling over. Yeah.
Hey, nerd, that's a microaggression.
Oh, nerd.
I don't think it's microaggression calls somebody a nerd.
What?
It probably was back
No.
in the 80s,
No?
but
I
nowadays
don't
it's
think
a...
so.
What
Only
about
if-
Greeks?
I think it's
Geeks. Greeks.
Only if
both-
they're Asian.
I think both of those things
Only if
become
they're
terms
Asian?
of empowerment.
Yep.
No longer carry the negative connotations that they used to.
What if I call him a retard?
Yeah, that would probably be bad.
Mark it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe was just flipping through.
Put that one in.
Joe has a number in his head that we want to get to.
Gotta go.
I didn't say it. I said it like Zach Galifianakis did.
I know.
And he got away with it. So
Multiple times, yeah.
So Biden addressed the AR pistols with the stabilizer braces, saying, "quote We want to treat pistols modified." And I'm saying a lot more smoother than he did today.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys see it? Did you guys see it?
I did not.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
He's not healthy. He said this, quote, "We want to treat pistols modified with stabilizing braces with the seriousness they deserve." He suggested having a stabilizing brace on a pistol, quote, "makes that pistol a hell of a lot more accurate and more lethal."
Huh?
Well, that's what a pistol's supposed to be, right? I mean, what do you want a pistol to be? Inaccurate and just, you know.
By very definition.
That's why
and
they
pray,
make fire
right?
bullets.
Spray and
That's why
pray.
they have sights on them.
Well, but also, hold on a second. You can build an AR pistol chambered in 9mm, and me shooting a 9mm round out of an AR pistol with, let's say, a 7.5-inch barrel, and me shooting, a regular pistol with a 5-inch barrel, it's not changing the lethality of it at all.
Have you
And-
seen the?
But it lets them charge an extra $200 tax.
Yeah.
Yes.
I looked that up. So.
Have you seen the new
That's
quote unquote
exactly what it is.
non-lethal option that's out there?
Tasers?
No. It's this. It shoots a projectile that's about the size of a Red Bull can, and it's solid rubber. And when they show it hitting the dummy, it literally just concaves the entire ballistics dummy's chest. So it's like, no, instead of just putting a hole through somebody, you're just going to cave in their sternum.
I
Well,
shoot something that's out of the size of like a Foster's can.
Oh yeah.
So
I think we're on a different topic here.
My father called me today.
Uh-oh.
He yelled at me.
He did.
He goes, "I had to stop watching yesterday."
I understand
Sorry,
that.
Papa.
I was
Padula.
making up a story about a girl that I was in love with in the army,
Uh-huh.
and it was all made up.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, "I can't. I don't want to learn about your love life." You know,
Good
the
call.
last time
Good
when he
Dad's
tapped
the
out,
man. I hope he's watching right now. He's the man.
there was another time that he tapped out and he called, and it was about there was a Mikey Yaya actually had a dog named Pearl, and
Oh, yeah.
and
I remember that show. Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, does Pearl's collar? Do you call it a pearl necklace?" Right? And my dad's like, "I'm out." So he calls me up. He goes, "The pearl necklace one," and I'm saying, "I'm like, how do you know what a pearl necklace is?"
Oh, come on.
Mom, no, Mom.
Well, how you think you got here? I'm just saying.
Babe.
I'm just saying.
Not like that.
I'm just saying.
No.
That's not how it's done.
Those are my other brothers and sisters that
Doing it all wrong.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I'm just saying.
From the window to the wall. He added a quote.
So, what this has to do with pistols,
Yes.
with stabilizing butt stocks,
Yes.
to make them more accurate and lethal, and they need to be taxed more.
But
you need to fill out extra paperwork before you have one, because we don't want you to not do paperwork and taxes.
I think that you would want to a responsible shooter
Right.
wants to have the best accuracy as possible, and that is why they go to the range. That's why they go train. They make sure that what they are aiming for, they hit, so there's no collateral damage or anyone else hit or somebody innocent.
And know your weapon.
Right. So I guess by removing this stuff, you're gonna make it.
He's not removing it. He's just putting an extra tax and some extra paperwork
Yeah.
on it.
Well,
So
hold on.
let-
He doesn't have the authority
I
to
have an
remove this.
opinion
No.
after you, sir. After you. But I
Yeah,
have an
just a
opinion.
quick question. How is that different from paying a $200 tax stamp to make it a short barrel rifle?
It's not. That's the reclassification of it. They're classifying it as a short barrel rifle.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
he's
just
decided.
forcing you to do that. and so
I have a
that makes
theory.
sense.
What's your theory, WaterDog Rich?
President Biden has been talking ever since he took office about taking executive action about guns.
Yeah.
So he looked around the staff table and said, "Guys, I want you to pick the most asinine things that people could care the least about guns,
Yeah.
and I'm going to make an executive action about it and act like I'm really doing something.
That's what I think, too.
Now, I'm a gun guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had, honestly, maybe this is my stupidity, I had never heard of ghost guns before this week. I didn't even know that it was a thing that you
It
could
just means a
order
gun
kit
that
in.
you've made it yourself.
Yeah, or that you ordered it. Well, the thing is, you're ordering kits in and making them, but
Don't cross the streams, Ray.
yeah, don't cross. Yeah, exactly.
cross
Don't
the
cross the
streams.
streams.
Well,
But that's what I think it is. It's grandstanding to show that he's doing something when it really doesn't. It does. None of those things affect my life in any way.
Well,
He's doing it to
Rich-
quiet the detractors, is
But
what it
he
is.
added this. Check this out. Quote, modifications to firearms that make them more lethal should be subject to the National Firearms Act. What about scopes? I mean, scopes make guns more lethal.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
suppressors
what
are
are you gonna-
already on the Class 3 list.
So,
Well, but hold on. Rich has a good point. If you look at the statistics
What?
of people that I know, if you actually look at the numbers, if you look at the statistics of people who die by firearms, be it by suicide, homicide, whatever,
Yeah.
ARs are like the lowest of all the guns that are on there. At least
Right.
the styles of firearm.
You-
The
you-
majority of them are handguns.
and you know where the majority's coming out of? Chicago.
Yep.
Where the handguns
Where they have the strictest gun laws.
that have no serial numbers that are all off, okay? And they're just left and right gangbanging, killing over there. And kids getting caught in the crossfire as well. But if the purchase of an AR pistols is categorized as the purchase of a short-barreled rifle, the process of buying the firearm could require being fingerprinted and photographed. Oh, look at that. He's all for photographs
Yeah.
and identification.
And there's usually a
Oh,
All of
look
a
at
sudden,
that.
all of a sudden,
All of a
Wait,
sudden,
you're gonna have to show a photo ID to get a barrel stabilizer. Oh,
right after you vote.
that sounds racist.
So
It's a microaggression for
well,
sure.
especially
is.
with the tax stamps. There's usually a waiting period, and it's usually about 9 months.
yeah, there is the background check, okay, registering the firearm with the ATF.
9 months.
And of
What is
course,
this for a baby?
and of course, paying the federal government, like Lawyer Wayne said, a
Yep.
$200 tax on top of the price of the firearm.
I used to have an FFL, and the stuff you've actually got to go through to own certain firearms is it's way more than people would imagine. I mean, you have to have a certain type of safe. It's got to be bolted to foundation, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not that simple to get these assault weapons. At least it's not as simple to do it legally as people think it is.
Total waiting time for this particular AR pistol that they're talking about, 9 to 10 months
Yep.
for the whole purchase process to be completed.
Yeah. They're probably classifying it under Class 3 then.
You're going to see the increase of illegal purchasing. That's all this is going to bring.
I'm not a gun guy, but I'm kind of glad Tennessee's heading in the opposite direction. This just seems like
Well, I'm glad
A
you said
mess.
that, because Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signs constitutional carry bill into law.
Bill signed
he
the bill.
did sign today.
Yep,
okay.
Bill signed the bill. That's
Bill
right.
signed the bill.
Yep, he signed the state's constitutional carry bill into law. He tweeted a photo. Well, it was one of his staffers. He didn't tweet him. Next to Representative William Lamberth from Portland, Tennessee. He was a sponsor of the bill. So Governor Bill Lee said this: I signed the constitutional carry today because I should be hard for law-abiding Tennesseans to exercise their hashtag 2A rights. He's so hip.
Well, so question for you there. If it's a constitutional carry, I mean, the Constitution says that our gun rights shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
So
It's let's just treat it as jargon. What it did was we no longer require permits for certain types of firearms.
Yeah.
so it's not a constitutional carry. It's just a permitless carry.
It depends on how you interpret the Constitution.
That's right.
I don't see it as being too much different than the Castle Doctrine, which we've already had for years.
Well, the new measure means that Tennesseans of certain ages will no longer have to apply for a permit or go through the required safety courses to legally carry a handgun.
Well, do those
Open
people
or concealed.
Yeah.
who bought a permit, do they get their money back? I'm just curious.
That's what I was just sitting here thinking, because some people have
If you
paid
bought
for a
if
lifetime.
you got a permit
But-
last month, you're
But
sitting there killing
here's
yourself.
here's the
believe I spent
benefit
Right.
of having a permit. In the constitutional carry thing was brought about. That's like you said. It's just semantics.
Right.
That's what somebody said. Let's attach to the Constitution. It's permitless carry.
Who's Samantha?
But
It's the chick from
Go
Hooters.
on.
But
The
I,
chick from Hooters.
but I
So
figured-
if you have a permit, though, you can go out of state as long as the state has reciprocity.
right.
So
And-
that's
right.
why
Yeah.
it makes
So the
it
permit's
good.
used for
It's
travel.
good in
and
Tennessee.
plus, you got a permit. You've been trained to
Yeah.
properly use it.
It looks better.
I'm
and
all-
they're not the permits and classes and stuff. You could still go do it. The
Yeah.
classes and things. You probably ought to if you're going to.
Yeah, and plus they have the
around.
online
wanna carry
version
it,
now,
yeah.
which is less expensive, but it doesn't give you the same rights as if you go and take the 8 or 9 hour course and qualify and all that stuff. So
Hopefully, this information was useful for you, and maybe we answered a few questions. Because, man, I tell you, on the Twitter world, they do not know what they're talking about. Same thing on Facebook. I watched a couple channels on YouTube today. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're like, yes, we're taking their guns away. You're good. You're good. Don't worry. It's all right. Like Rich said, it really is just pandering.
Yeah.
It's pandering to a base. Plus, it's not even him doing it. We all know that. Okay, so
You should.
Weekend at Bernie's, right?
I mean, he's not dead yet.
But when it comes to Twitter, I'm sure you're aware of how they interpret Trump as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Here he is. Guns are bad. What was the stupid sequel?
Weekend at Bernie's too.
Right.
I never knew they made a
he
sequel.
gets
Yeah.
possessed
it's-
where he's dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that? It was something.
Oh,
Because he kept.
it was the worst. Every time there was music.
Because he
was
walked
just-
on the beach, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because in the first one, at least he had to be carried, and they
Yeah,
came up with
yeah,
creative
yeah.
ways with like the strings. Hey.
yeah, they should have let that one go at one movie. I think. I don't think we needed
Most
a
movies that
sequel.
they've made a second or a third, they should have let it go at one.
Unbelievable. Hey, let us know what your insight is. If we got it wrong, let us know. All right, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
It's the Joe Padula Show. Bada bing. Clarksville's conversation.